Welcome back to the live to the channel. We are here Tuesday night. Right before we started, I'm already laggy, so that's a great sign. We're gonna have a good time. I'm in a silly mood. Anthony Gallo's here from WFAN. Uh, for the first time on the channel, it will not be the last. Trust you me, he will be back. And then also Hector Beauchamp, who, if you've watched this before, he's been here a bunch of times from Latino Sports, from Uptown Sports. He's working himself to the fucking bone. So naturally, I'm just like, yo, like, do some more work. Do this live, on a Tuesday night. We're gonna compile a baseball wish list, an MLB wish list, 15 things we want out of this 2026 season and beyond. 5 things from each of us. We'll see how organized that actually gets. And we're also going to have our eye on all the things going on in sports otherwise, because the Knicks are playing the Rockets right now and not looking particularly good. The Mets are playing the Cardinals. The Yankees playing a little bit. We have our boy Anthony Rivera, Subway to Shay, in the chat right now, who has been on here multiple times, obviously during the WBC and even last year when we did a Subway Series preview, 4 of us, Hector and Grace Monroe and I. And we basically talked about how both these teams suck and why are we doing this. Yankees ended up fine, but that was okay. Gentlemen, how are we feeling? Are you guys ready to do whatever it is we're about to do?
I'm ready. I'm locked in. I did a lot of research. I did a lot of, pontification or pontificating. Already off to a great start with the words here.
Awesome.
So I'm fired up, and I'm happy to be here.
Broadcasters.
We've been working on this for a little bit, and the last 2 times I know I couldn't get in here, so I'm fired up.
Yeah, this is gonna be fun. Okay, 5 things. We're gonna start with you, Hector, because I'm optimistic that you're going to start us off on the right foot, and I don't want to start. And Gallo's new here, so that would be impolite. So go ahead, kick us off. What's the first thing that you want to see the most this 2026 MLB season?
Well, shout out to you, Bryan, for always putting these great conversations together. I appreciate you. Of course, my guy Gallo, love my guy. Miss you as well. Shout out to the chat, everybody that's in the building. Like always, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Make sure you guys are following everybody that's on the panel. But for me, my top 5 wish list, as we got the Mets right here, as they're trailing the St. Louis Cardinals 2-0 right now.
Yeah,
this is my top 5 wish list. No significant order whatsoever. I'm gonna start off the Paul Skenes trade rumors to the Yankees because, of course, John Heyman be John Heyman. So that's something that I have on my list. The Juan Soto and Francisco Lindor drama, exaggerated by most of the Yankee fans who miss Juan Soto. So I'm super excited for the Twitter feed and the timeline for that. ABS being highlighted in every game and every inning, and it's getting so annoying. The first 2 articles of the season that I wrote, I'm so I appreciate ABS, but having to highlight it in every article or hearing it in every inning is starting to get annoying. And
so hold on. So what's the main? So which one are you starting with?
The main one that I'm starting with, I want to talk about ABS. That's the one thing.
The ones that I'm thinking about, because you said 2
I apologize.
that are like on my.
I'm so sorry.
List. I was like,
I'm so sorry. So
shit right now.
I want to start off with the ABS thing, because I'll let you Met fans talk about the Juan Soto Francisco Lindor thing. But the ABS, to me, I saw it in spring training. I saw it the past couple of seasons in the minor leagues, covering Somerset and Hudson Valley for the New York Yankees. And I always thought it's great for the game. At the end of the day, you want the cause to be right down the middle. You want everything to be square. Whether it's against my team or for my team, I want the game to be called right. So when it comes to ABS, I welcome ABS, but it's starting to get annoying, and I'm starting to realize maybe this is a good thing, that fans are going to start knowing every umpire's name after every game because of ABS. Maybe it's a good thing, maybe it's a bad thing. I hope that every game is called correctly down the middle. Every pitch, we've seen it. Shout out to CB Buckner, or whatever his name is. I hope I'm not missaying it, but it's starting to rub me the wrong way just a little bit. It's just a repetitive conversation, if you get what I'm saying.
I have something on ABS too that I might actually start with now that you set the tone. We're gonna periodically check in on Mets Cardinals. Don't want to leave it up the entire time, so you can.
I don't want to sound like the old man screaming from the porch either. I don't want to come off as that person. It's just it's like when we're having our conversations or like sports conversation with our close friends. And in 2019, the word narrative started to get thrown into the conversation. And now everybody uses narrative in whatever conversation they're having about sports. That's how it's starting to annoy me, if you get what I'm saying.
Gallo, what do you think?
Well, I think it's new. I love it. I think it's awesome. Another thing that they've done in the last few years. I think it's new, and by June we're not going to talk about it anymore. I want more drama though. I want, if a manager makes a call and he's wrong, camera in his face. Like, we're not doing enough of that. When O'Neal Cruz, SNY did it. When O'Neal Cruz, it was so clearly a strike, called the ABS, and they went right to his face, and he had that like I eat ass face where he was just like, I want that. Like they do with the CV Buckner. They kept cutting to him. Or Salvi Perez, every time he got it right, he was just like, that's right. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
But I do like it. You know, Brian, I know you are a soccer fan, and there's going to be people who hate replay for the sake of it's going to now nitpick a centimeter. But it's either, do you want to get the call right, or do you want to just play the game and hope that the human gets it right?
Yeah.
I'm cool with it. As someone who hates automation in society, this is the one time I am pro robot.
I think I'm with you. So tennis has the best replay system in sports because literally you can challenge it or it could just go straight to review, and then they just it's literally what baseball is trying to do. It goes on the big screen, everyone claps, and then they show whether or not the ball was in or out. They do it the best, and I think that's what baseball is trying to mimic. At first, I had a little resistance to it because I was like, "Fuck, man, I don't want umpires to go because I want chaos and fights and arguments at all times." But I do think that if they're gonna be this quick with it, as long as the challenges don't get out of hand, like I don't want it to become like the NBA where dudes are challenging everything or trying to, at least, because in the NBA you don't get so many challenges, but players will do this at the end of every fucking play, and it's just annoying. So yeah, Gallo, give us your first.
My first, all right, hold on, my phone just locked. So I'm gonna go tame. This one is tame. I want to see Mike Trout and Giancarlo Stanton play at least 120 games. Like, it would be nice. I think specifically Stanton, who I think is, you know, I'm not a Yankee fan. Yankee fans treat this guy like he is the worst baseball player to walk the earth. He's as close to a bona fide Hall of Famer that we have. It'd be nice to see him finish out a season 120 plus games. And this could kind of go for any aging great player in the league. Jacob deGrom could be thrown in there. I would like to see these guys play because we don't have too much more time left. Stanton, Trout, fuck Bryce Harper. Otherwise, I would. I'm sorry. Am I not allowed to curse? I don't even know.
It's me. I don't care. I don't give a shit.
Yeah. Fuck Bryce Harper. But like, even him, it'd be nice to see him play a full season. Yeah, that's really, because I talked about it the other day on air. Stanton should be pushing for 600 home runs right now, but he has missed 600 plus games. Trout, I didn't dive into the numbers, but we already know his story. And as guys who grew up watching Ken Griffey, like, I don't want to see another version of these like greats that we don't get to see. We're not going to see their full potential, but we get robbed of some of their greatness.
I'm gonna go into ABS for mine. I want to co-sign yours, especially for Mike Trout, because like I thought I was getting away with one last year because he got dropped in fantasy right before the playoffs, and I was like, ooh, he's not Mike Trout anymore, but it's still Mike Trout. Like, I'm kind of doing that math in my head, and I didn't end up playing him much, and I lost in the quarterfinals. It wasn't great. Okay, my first one. Now this is going off of Hector's ABS rant, we'll call it. A mini rant. I've heard Hector actually rant. I wouldn't say it's a rant, but like we'll say mini rant.
Yeah.
Mine will be, I want a manager or a player to just crash out over ABS this year. Like, get fined, do the whole thing. Like, even though it's indisputable, like if you look at it and it's like, yo, but you're wrong. And I want them to, I want the
smash a camera.
the core of their argument to just be, this is bullshit, this is not the spirit of the game, who gives a fuck if we have accurate calls all the time, this is not good for whatever. I want like a nonsensical just crash out over ABS from somebody. Bryce Harper could be on that list. Any manager could be on that list. It could be somebody unexpected. Like I don't really care who, although I think certain people would be funnier than others in doing this. I want an ABS crash out for entertainment for all of us.
You kind of saw it already. I think it was the manager from Miami, who got upset that they
people don't watch
that the ABS
this didn't resonate.
They'll be in the Bronx this Friday, so I'll be at the game Friday and Sunday covering the Yankees versus the Miami Marlins.
You can tell people who's on the team because I don't think they know.
I got you. Don't worry about it. But no, what happened was he got upset that the player called ABS and he felt that too much time had passed in between, and he got upset. Not that not that the call was not in his favor. He was just upset that they the time and the bending of the rules.
You took too long to be right. Fuck that.
Type shit. It's like how Chris Paul. If you know that clip of Chris Paul complaining to the ref that one of the players had their jersey untucked. And he's like, you got to give him a tech. That's a tech. You got to give him a tech. It's like, all right, shut the fuck up.
Yeah. That's pretty much what it is. But I want it to be just that makes a little like that's too sensical. I want something just completely nonsensical. Just like get the fuck out of here. We don't need this shit. It's ruining the spirit of the game. Just bullshit. Just old timey baseball stuff. That's what I want.
And to piggyback real quick, Gallo talking about Giancarlo Stanton. Giancarlo Stanton, he's 2 for 4 in the first 4 games of the season. So like every game, he's gotten 2 hits, multi-hit games in the first 4 games of the season. That is the 10th time in the Yankees franchise history that a player has gotten multi hits in the first 4 games of the season. And then when you look at Mike Trout over the past, I want to say dating back to 2019, that's the last time. That's when he played 134 games. 2020, obviously, was that the pandemic season? 20, I think that was the pandemic season. 2020, so 53 games. That was almost a full season.
Dominic Smith was an MVP candidate that year.
And
I was ready to trade Pete Alonso to get him more playing time.
so was Luke Voigt. If you guys remember Yankee great Luke Voigt.
Jesus.
But since the pandemic, in 2021, he's played 36 games. 2022, 119. 2023, 82 games. 2024, 29 games. And last year, 130 games. So over the past 5 to 4 years, whatever you want to say, he's only played in over 100 games twice in 2 seasons.
Well, and to that point, just between 2019 for Stanton, that just between 2019 and 2020, he missed. He played, I think, 50 games in those 2 combined seasons. So that's, I don't know, whatever the math is, 270 games in a 2-year span where this guy missed. And look at what he did last year. How many games did he play last year, Heck? What was it, 77 games or whatever? And he hit 25 homers. He is the most I get it. He's always hurt. He's so underappreciated. He's also, and this is not even like a shot or a hot take at anyone. I don't want it's not a judge thing. He's the most clutch player the Yankees have had since Derek Jeter retired. Like even when he struggles, he steps up in the biggest moments and somehow manages to get a hit or do something big. I know last year was probably his worst like postseason with the Yankees, but he's always consistently in the mix when they need him.
And one thing that Yankee fans, I myself included, one thing that I've always appreciated from Giancarlo Stanton, no matter if he's slumping, no matter if he's the hottest hitter on the face of the planet, he always holds himself accountable and he always makes himself available to the media. Even though he knows he's running on just like half of a leg and he knows he's not as athletic as he once was 10 years ago, he can still make himself available and he would still be willing to play in the outfield if you need him to. Shout out to Big G.
Louis Robert Jr., top 6, first and second. Bo Bichette just walked. So got my eye on that. Mets are down 2-0. We'll see what happens. This is, must-win game on March 31st. Hector, what's your second?
My second one, hold on, because my phone just locked on me. And F it, I'm going to stir the pot. the Juan Soto and Francisco Lindor drama, exaggerated by mostly Yankee fans who miss Juan Soto and pray that he comes back one day, and it's never going to happen. But I think that issue, it's being blown out of proportion. I know it's a bad look, opening day, how they greeted each other, however you want to say it. If I'm David Stern or if I'm Steve Cohen, I'm pulling them to the side and like, listen, you guys are millionaires. You guys are making so much money to play a child's game. You don't have to be best friends. You don't got to have each other in the top 5 of each other's MySpace page or whatever the fuck. But just pretend and fake the funk. Just go out there and fake the funk, because it's just going. If you're trying to erase the disappointment of the 2025 season, the start of the 2026 season, their interaction, it's not off to a good start.
Okay. This is on my list, but for a different, like I have a different outcome here. Gallo, do you have any Soto Lindor related stuff on your list?
I have a Soto one. It's kind of tongue in cheek, but I do have a Soto one.
Okay, because I have a Soto. Okay.
I can pivot. I can just tell you, and I could add a different thing to my list because I have a bunch of stuff written down. Mine is I just want Juan Soto to have fun. That's all. I just want Juan Soto to have fun.
Related.
You know?
I mean, it's kind of related.
That's it.
I don't think it's that big of an issue. I also think the way that they sort of dapped each other up was kind of like it was quick, but you're just getting in line, right? I got a cop car. Hold on. That shit was dumb loud. I was like, they're interrupting the stream. Whoever they chasing, they better get, unless they didn't do it, which is another story for another day. Okay, so I think that the Soto Lindor thing, I don't think that they hate each other. I'm about to just give you my second one right now. I'm gonna just do it, and then Gallo can go after, because it is related. But I want them to lean into the bit. I want them to do basically like, I don't know if you guys ever seen this, but like when Jimmy Butler was on the Heat, I don't know if he's the guy that you want to bring up in situations like this, but hear me out. When Jimmy Butler was on the Heat, he had a celebration with Max Strus, or I don't know if I'd call it a celebration, but they had like a thing. I'll show you right, where they would flip each other off. You see over here on the corner where instead of shaking each other's hands, they would just flip each other off.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of want them to just do shit like this, just lean into it. Just be like, just flip each other off, like ignore each other, but like with a wink and a smile. You know what I mean? Like, don't ever dap each other up. Just lean into it the entire time, but be in on the joke. You know what I mean? And then after the season, just, I guess, tell it, if you want. But I kind of want them to just roll with it. Just be like, yeah, just be icy all year in public, but like have it be like a big locker room joke where you guys act like you hate each other in public, but privately y'all are actually fine.
Yeah,
I would just lean into it. Make it into a bit at that point.
Well, 2 disappointments. The Mets just, ran themselves out of an inning, and you bringing up anything to do with the Miami Heat. That's 2 times in like a matter of 20 minutes that the Heat have been brought up. And my day's already going bad with Italy missing the World Cup. But to your point,
they did?
But yeah, they lost to Bosnia Herzegovina. I don't know, whatever that was.
Herzegovina.
That was really ignorant. I'm sorry, but they lost to them.
I'm not gonna say that's karma because of Puerto Rico on the World Baseball Classic. I'm not gonna say that.
They're a baseball country now, so shout out to Andrew Fisher and Vinny P.
But you can't. How do you miss a World Cup with 48 teams?
I don't know. They did it. They did it.
Dude.
They did that. They did that shit. Like,
I missed that. What the fuck?
And then I couldn't even crash out because I was at work. To the Soto and Lindor thing. One, I don't even know if it's like they don't like each other. I think it's they don't vibe on the same levels. I think Lindor is very extroverted, it feels like. And it feels like Soto is introverted. Like he is
except for the World Baseball Classic when he's amongst
except for that.
Yeah.
Well, I think there's a comfort level there that I feel like everyone has when you're around family or friends.
Correct. Exactly.
But last year he didn't even feel, and I know he was close with Marte. He didn't even feel like And I jokingly, I think he was fine. I think a lot of the stuff with Soto was overblown because of where he left. I think it's not an issue. Also, Barry Bonds and Jeff Kent fist fought and then went to the World Series. Like that was on national television. Like Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen really didn't like each other. Like so many. It's Kobe and Shaq were. I mean, their relationship ruined that team. But they also weren't always best friends. And in baseball, chemistry is a little overrated. I think it's more for the long haul and the marathon. And it reminds me of, even though there was some credence to it, but like in 06 and 07, how we heard about, Paul LaDuca and Billy Wagner felt isolated in the locker room because they were, David Wright never said that. You know what I mean? So I think it's just stupid. The real beef, and I think we can all agree on this, was probably McNeil, who's a petulant brat, and Lindor. And from what it sounds like, Lindor is a tough teammate on guys. Like it feels like he holds guys accountable. And Jeff McNeil sounds like a guy, whether it's quotes that he said or just the way he acts, who doesn't want to be held accountable. Daddy and mommy probably told him yes his entire life. His dad probably coached his fucking baseball team. Like, I think that was a real beef. I think Soto and Lindor do not have to be best friends for this to be a thing that works.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There's also Nimmo.
Brandon Nimmo. Yeah, Brandon Nimmo.
Yeah. And what Mike Francesa alleges is a political issue.
From what I've heard, though, that was more so families and not.
Yeah, I was just about to say players. It was. Yeah, it wasn't the players. It was
type thing.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. Red hats. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
I mean, look, Nimmo has 2 donations on record. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But hey, he runs really hard to first base. So.
Got to give him credit where credit's due.
Which I always thought was obnoxious. I like Nimmo as far as like as a player, but like otherwise, I thought he was. I also think he's kind of an overrated Met by Mets fans who are like, oh, he should have his jersey retired. I'm like,
wow,
what are you talking about? Like,
and then there's someone who is more deserving of having his jersey retired. Hector is the only person who knows where my brain is going.
Oh yeah, I already know.
But the last thing too, before I get to my next one, is and Brian's probably, dude, you're gonna be like, well, who the hell are you talking about? But I also don't think the political thing matters much either. Like it does when your families are beefing over something. Yeah. Look at the NFL. Like baseball has been a majority probably conservative sport for a long time, and you've had international players. I think that if you can't get past that, like you don't have to be best friends the whole season. I think it matters. Yeah. And I think that, maybe hopefully guys don't need to be pampered. Like we don't need to bring in Jesse Winker to make Pete Alonso feel better anymore. Like, stuff like that. And I love Jesse Winker and Pete Alonso. That was not like a shot, but I don't want to hear that anymore.
Yeah. As somebody who has navigated these waters quite well, I would add, given that you guys know where I go, where I work, in other words.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah,
and where I'm at with certain things.
Yeah,
there's a way to navigate these waters, is what I'll say. Now, there are times and places where you can't. It kind of depends on the 2 parties involved. Mm-hmm. And I think with Lindor and Soto, bringing it back to them, I don't think that's an issue. I think it's more of a personality clash than anything else. Mm-hmm. I'd be surprised if it's a cultural issue because, I mean, look, I ain't saying we're like Dominicans, but like we're kind of like Dominicans.
but like you said, is like Gallo said, is 2 different personalities. One's an introvert, one's an extrovert. When you talk about
one has a family and the other one doesn't yet. Like that could be a thing too. Like y'all just hang around different people or whatever.
I do
think Gallo, you made a really good point though. I think you made a really good point when you mentioned like a lot of this is really because or really comes from, hey, he left the Yankees. Like if the Mets got him from the Nationals, his original team, or even the Padres, I don't think people would care to this degree. But it's a lot of Yankee fans, Hector, you could attest to this, stirring this up, probably.
No, yeah.
And Met fans take it a bit.
I'm the one that started the conversation with it, so I'm the one that stirred it up in the conversation between the 3 of us. But no, it's more Yankee fans that are making more of a big deal out of it. Brian, maybe you could get what I'm saying. Where we growing up when we grow up, there's something that Jay-Z used to do. He's famous for. It's called the Jigger Man. Jay-Z would like walk or meet somebody and he'll hit him, like he'll give you a dap, but it's just like, it's one of those, like, I'm not dapping you up like that. I'm just hitting you with the one. And that's what they did to each other. They both hit each other with the Jigger Man dap. And again, I just think it's just being blown out of proportion. Let's see what happens in September when the Mets have a walk-off home run. If Juan Soto hits a home run late in the game and Francisco Lindor scores, if Lindor doesn't high-five him at home plate, then you could say, all right, they don't like each other.
Yeah, that's what I want to see. I want to see a moment. Well, I don't want to see that, but I'm saying I want to see a moment.
No, like a late game moment, bottom of the ninth inning, Juan Soto walks it off. Francisco Lindor's at home plate because he was one of the runs that scored. Something like that. If Lindor doesn't dap him up, or if Juan Soto doesn't dap up Lindor, if the roles were reversed, then you can say, okay, they don't like each other. But it's just the start of the season. Like, it's not that big deal.
And you know how silly this is? It's like if they had a handshake, people would just be like, oh, they're best friends.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. And just because him and Aaron Judge had 15 different handshakes in the one season that they played together, that don't mean anything, Just because they were close friends and they went to church every Sunday, that don't mean nothing,
Did they do that? Every Sunday?
Yeah.
Yeah, and the reports also, too, and I don't know how true this is, Judge and Soto, different political spectrums, and supposed conversating about this stuff. So you could definitely coexist in that fashion. Like you said, Brian, it's the two parties involved on that. Like, it's I think it's blown out of proportion. And I know I teased one thing. The most ridiculous thing I have on my list I want to get to because it's kind of in the same realm.
Let's do it. Let's go.
I think the most overblown story of the past month was Randy Arozarena and Cal Raleigh and the handshake stuff. So what I need to happen is I need either one of them. It's interchangeable. One of them hits a walk-off, and at home they kiss. And we move on. Like, that's it. Like, it is the dumbest thing.
I'm with it.
I think what Cal Raleigh did was corny. I also think how Randy responded was corny and the blown out of proportion. And I think a lot of it was America, Mexico. There was a dynamic to that because when the Australia guy was doing it to the Japanese and the Czechs, nobody cared when he wasn't shaking anybody's hand. But I thought it was the stupidest thing. So a big home run, the dumper comes around home plate and they just kiss and it's over. We can just bury that.
I love it. I fucking love it, Gallo. I fucking love it. Don't
know if Jaden Ivey would approve of that one. Go ahead.
I thought of it, but I didn't want to say it. It's too soon. It's like not even more than 24 hours. So Brian, that's on Brian. I was gonna say that moment with Kyle Raleigh and Randy Arozarena. I was texting my girlfriend back and forth, like sending it to her, and she was like, "He's such an asshole. Why does he just shake his teammate's hand?" And I felt the same way. And then it was Josh Naylor the next game when Canada played U.S. He did the same shit to him, and he just, dog, what are you doing? But Josh Naylor did it to like fuck around, like just to make fun.
Yeah, and it's also like. I think it also comes off a way because Kyle Raleigh, Randy Arozarena, USA versus Mexico.
Yeah,
the
two countries have political tensions.
But I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Yeah. Randy Arozarena felt some type of way. You could tell he felt some type of way
because he showed him up on national TV in front of everybody. Yeah, and he said some shit in Spanish after the fact.
I was just about to say, if you watch that interview, Gallo, he literally told him, he was like, I could say it in English. I could say it in Mexican Spanish. I could say it in Cuban Spanish. He was like, I said, vete la verga. If you're Mexican, if you know what I mean. And then the Cuban one, oh man, I forgot what he said, but it was basically the same shit. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah. And probably faster. I think that, listen. The reason why my Spanish isn't up to par yet is because I can't speak that shit too fast. That's like the main reason, right? And then also listening to it on like I have to slow shit down because I'm like, bro, like it's hard to. It's like listening to a New Yorker, like a pissed off New Yorker, but like in a different language.
Yeah.
Which we all have history with, I'm sure. Okay. I think what would be funny or messed up if like Seattle, kind of doesn't have the season they envision after the momentum that they established from last year. And then we start hearing trade rumors, and then one of them gets traded, Randy Arozarena or Kyle Raleigh. I don't think it'll be Kyle Raleigh.
It'll be Randy.
Like that would be kind of crazy, and I wouldn't want that to happen. By the way, 2-0 still. Mets are trailing Simeon's up to bat. Looks like they're gonna
Ryan
fall.
Stanek on the mound for the Cardinals.
Yeah, the old friend of ours. All right, we each got 2 on the board. Hector, we're back to you. What's your third?
I'm gonna switch it up. Just because I want to get funky. Stadium food, right? Because I was at Yankee Stadium today. Shout out to the New York Yankees for inviting Latino Sports. We were there to try out their 2026 ballpark food, and there was one thing. First off, they gave me trading cards, just with all the different foods and stuff, so I could have like the stuff. Gallo, you would have loved like a lot of the shit that they had,
really
bro. You would have. Now I'm gonna tell you, this right here was my favorite thing. It was a mini chicken dessert bucket. It was a chicken thigh, like a chicken leg. Ice cream shaped like, I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? And I saw it, I was like, get out of here. Bro, it's literally like cornflakes. See, like it looks like a piece of fried chicken, and you bite into it, and the bone is chocolate, like white chocolate or whatever. The best thing that was on that I had today. Very sweet. It said the drumstick shaped ice cream with a chocolate cover. Shout out to Jacob Petruzzi. With a chocolate covered cookie bone center coating of white chocolate and candy cornflakes drizzled with raspberry sauce, served in a souvenir mini chicken bucket.
How good was it on a scale of 1 to 10?
It was a 9.5.
Oh man.
Only reason why I didn't give it a 10. I'm very, like, my autism. I don't like messy shit and stuff. So when I was buying, like, it was like melted on the inside, so it was automatically like crumbled apart. So it was just a mess eating it. That was the only, but it was good. It was banging.
So what exactly is your thing? Like just with food?
Sensory, like I don't like mess. Like I don't like if I'm eating.
No, I meant for the purposes of our exercise.
Just stadium food, just in general. I look forward to trying a bunch of stadium food in 2026, whether it's at Yankee Stadium, whether it's at Citi Field, whether it's in Philadelphia for the All-Star game. I'm planning on going to Toronto with my girlfriend at some part during the year, so maybe I'll catch a game at the Rogers Center. So it's just trying different stadium food, and obviously I want my girlfriend to do it with me, so we could be like a power couple YouTube power couple.
One of you has to vlog. I think Citi Field has some fucking good stadium food. Yankee Stadium, I don't even remember because I haven't been there in a few years. If I liked it or not. Citi Field has some really good stadium food.
Yeah.
Just a lot of shit with a kick though, which I'm not trying to. Like, I know it's outdoors, but I'm not trying to fart in like section 114, bro. Like around a whole bunch of other people. I understand it's outside, but like, nah, bro. I'm not trying to do that. Gallo, you were about to jump in?
Well, I was gonna say, this is why I wrote down a bunch of things, but yeah, I want to try one of the things I want to write down, and I already couldn't do it because I didn't get the Pittsburgh series, is the egg roll shop at Citi Field has egg rolls for every visiting team, like a themed egg roll.
That's very Queens.
That's fire. That's so fire, like, though.
If I could try every one of those, but no, I mean,
That's
Yankee
so fire.
Stadium, they have the best bang for your buck at a stadium, which is the chicken bucket. Like I have season tickets to NYCFC, so I'm at Yankee Stadium more than Citi Field some years.
They're gonna have a stadium here soon. NYCFC.
It's gonna be the best building in the entire country. Not country. Sorry, in the entire state. I was getting ahead of myself. It's gonna be the best building. It's gonna be Yankee Stadium and Citi Field are awesome. As far as outdoor venues, it's gonna be the most state of the art one we get. But yeah, Yankee Stadium has the apple pie nachos, which is the first thing I'm trying when I get out there.
Oh my god!
How do you make apple pie nachos?
Well, it's like wafer instead of chips, it's like wafers, like those wafer chips.
Oof.
Hold on.
And yeah, it's like humble. I just saw it today, and I was like, that ice cream and the apple pie nachos top of my list.
You know the tiramisu and the Yankee cut and the Yankee helmet at Yankee Stadium that they got. So the guy that does that, his name is Christian. Basically, he's your cousin Gallo, an Italian guy with a bunch of hair on his chest, who's talking about food.
Right?
Yeah. So it's Christian, the guy that's behind it, bro. Got an interview with him. He served me Petroni affogato.
Oh,
you
it's
know
like
what
it's espresso with ice cream.
With ice cream. Oh my God, Mr. Softy ice cream, espresso,
Gelato.
Nutella. Yeah, that's exactly how he did it when he served it to me. I forgot. It was section 105.
I can already see my brother's like watching this, and he's like, "It's gelato."
If people are in New York, they've seen the memes about or the clips from, I forget what podcast it was, talking about how Puerto Ricans and Italians get along in New York.
Yes,
that's what you're getting here for about.
That's what you guys just saw. That's what you guys just saw.
That's what you're getting here for about another 20. Okay,
well, you were talking about real quick, Brian. You were talking about not like having the best Spanish. That's the thing I always say is, and I'm speaking from a bubble. Most of my Puerto Rican friends don't speak Spanish, and I can't speak a lick of Italian. But we're the most like culture, like we love our culture,
right.
And then everyone's like, "Oh, you speak Italian?" I was like, what's it?
I like New York Spanglish is what I got.
You guys at least have your own language. Ours was given to us.
Wow.
I'll say,
we
have a distinct type of Spanish.
A lot of white guilt.
Well, you're Italian, not Spanish is different. Somebody had a joke. I forget the comedian, but it was a really good bit. It's like basically if the country speaks their language, that means they weren't taken advantage of back in the day. If they speak a different language, you know what I mean? Like, in England, they speak English. Italy, they speak Italian. In Spain, they speak Spanish. In Mexico, they don't speak Mexican. Like, that was the whole bit. It was really funny. Anyway, it keeps scrolling. But
history's
apple pie
dark.
nachos. History's dark. So is the present. Apple pie nachos, Mr. Softy, soft serve, warm apple pie compote. I don't know.
It's the filling that comes from inside the apple pie.
Oh yeah, I saw that, and I was just it was just too much going on for me. Yeah, I saw that though.
Cinnamon streusel, waffle chips, whipped cream, caramel sauce, and blue and white sprinkles. Oh, the Yankees. Jacob also asked if Hector, if you tried the new cheesecake.
No, I didn't try the new cheesecake, Jacob.
This isn't bad.
Why can't I see the chat?
This is a solid list. Okay, Gallo, that was your third.
No, it's we can do that as my third.
Third, yeah. Okay, I got to do my third. I will do something normal, and first of all, let me stop being a fat ass.
I was about to say
that MVP burger look high.
That shit was banging. I had that. That was banging.
Listen,
the MVP burger.
Listen, the Bronx is a bit of a commute, but it's only 2 trains for me. My third one is I want the Dodgers to lose before the World Series. I do not want them to repeat.
I knew someone was going to pick that, so I kept it off my list.
Yeah, I just had to go basic there. It's like very simple. I didn't think they were going to win it all last year, and it got dicey for a second, but then they ended up pulling through. Now they have Edwin Diaz, and it's like I can't have this happen. I can't have this happen a third time. As someone who does a boxing show with a Dodgers fan, also who took Edwin Diaz literally from me, and now they have the trumpets. I'm that if the Mets did everything they did in the offseason and just kept Edwin Diaz too, then I'd be fine with that.
100%.
You know what I mean? Even though I think Devin Williams would be fine. Like, I think he'll be fine, but I can't have the Dodgers do this again, bro. Just no. That's my third.
First off, Devin Williams is going to be what Yabusele was for the Knicks. That's what Devin Williams is going to be for you for the Mets as the closer for the team.
I actually thought I'm stupid as fuck because I thought you were going to say something like, "Good, the Cardinals just scored again. That's cool." Ramon Urias homered for the first time this season, center field. That is off of Lovelady again. Cool.
They're burning his arm out, and they're going to send him
Dickie
down.
Lovelady is not good. He's going to be DFA'd in a month or 2. Jesus Christ.
Anyway. Forgot where I was going. The Dodgers, right?
Yeah,
the Dodgers. Low key, I want them to win again because when the Dodgers win, it puts pressure on the other owners to spend money.
Nah,
And
we've already done this twice. Now, okay,
they need to spend. Owners need to spend money. Go ahead.
Counterpoint: if the Mets or Yankees win, if the Mets or Yankees win, I think you could make the same case. It would just be a different team. Like, I don't think the Dodgers have to force the rule. I think somebody else could do it because the Mets and Yankees are still spending a lot of money, even though the Yankee fans are calling their ownership cheap. But
I would agree with you if the Dodgers didn't sign Tucker in the offseason, right? So with the Dodgers signing Tucker, it goes to show you, like, you have to spend money because Kyle Tucker was out there for any other team, for the Mets as well. It's just teams were not willing to give him that 8-year deal that he was seeking. Teams were trying to lowball Kyle Tucker, not expecting the Dodgers to swoop in at the last second and to sign him.
Yeah,
how you feel about this, Gallo?
I can't stand the Dodgers. I do think a villain is good for any sport.
Sure.
I do think a lot of it is like reactionary because they're spending a ton, but they're also not like breaking any rules. I want to see every cheap owner that never tries to win. I want their team to bottom out. I don't want the fans to show up. Like, these guys turn a profit because the MLB allows them to with the luxury tax money. Like Bob Nutting in Pittsburgh, Fisher with the A's, whoever the hell owns the Marlins,
White Sox.
the White Sox, Castellini with the Reds. I want all these teams to suffer. And I'm sorry for their fan bases. Like, the only reason why I don't hate on the Rays is even though they don't spend, they still compete. So, like, I can't say they're not competing.
They're good at development.
They did pay someone. They just picked the absolute worst person to pay. Like, of course they paid someone. And it was the worst person in the world you could have paid. Like, it's like you could have paid O.J. Simpson. Like, that's the way how
that's not even.
Like, I don't want the Dodgers to win. I actually think the Dodgers are going to unify New York in a way we haven't seen because eventually Met fans and Yankee fans are going to stop fighting and we're going to realize we have a common enemy, and it's those Starbucks bums in Southern California. Like, outside of their bleachers, the rest of those fans are frauds. The people in those bleachers, I sat out there, they're dope. Everyone else at that stadium is a dweeb. And even with the trumpets, they made a way to make the trumpets sound corny. And it's not the woman who was playing it. If you listen to the actual song, they changed the song. I hate the Dodgers this year. If they win, to Hector's point, I don't know if it's going to help people spend. It is good to have a villain for, like, the casual fan to hate. But also fuck LA.
I'm down with the people who call them Los Doyers, but other than that, I can't have the Dodgers win another World Series.
The Dodgers are like a big deal out there. They're just the fans that now show up all of a sudden is what bothers me. And that goes for everything.
Were you in the trenches with Eric Gagne, people?
Right. Like, I got boys
Mike
out
Kemp.
there. Yeah. And the Dodgers are like the second biggest team of the Lakers out there. But the people go, like, in the bleachers, like, I sat out there. I actually think Dodgers fans get a bad rap. It felt like sitting in the bleachers in the Bronx. Like, it was rowdy. They were into the game. They didn't show up late. That's the other people in it. It's like Knicks games like that. Knicks have a diehard fan base. The majority, and you hear it, the Garden is flat this year. The majority of people at the Garden just became Knicks fans in Jalen Brunson's second season. So,
and they got bread because they're pricing the shit out of them.
Yep. I would say when you talk about the Dodgers fans, right? I see what you're saying, but also there's the diehard fans. I forgot what's the name of that section. You know how, like, you got the bleacher creatures, you got the 7 line with the Mets. They have like section 2 something or section something that they've turned that into a business. They travel with the team. They have like a travel agency. They legit team up with like booking companies and stuff in order to sponsor their entire season. So they travel with the Dodgers. Like, shout out to them.
Are they
monetizing and
Are they recouping? They're spending a lot on tickets.
Oh, no. Yeah, bro. They don't pay for shit. Like, they turned it into a business, a legit business sponsored. Like, shout out to them. I forgot that. I'm gonna look up that section while we're talking.
You also need to give us your fourth so that we have two each left in building our wish list so far. I've already forgotten a few of them, so we'll recount it at the end.
It's called Pantone 294. That's the name of that group. Pantone 294. Pantone is the color code for blue, like the Dodgers blue, and that's the section that they're in. Pantone 294. So Snapple fact for you. So my next one, I would say number
the 10th
4.
overall.
I said it at first. Paul Skenes trade rumors to the New York Yankees. And if I'm the Yankees, I'm trading whatever prospects. If Paul Skenes is available, you give them Lombard, you give them Dax Kelby, you give them Cam Slitler, whoever is available, you trade for Paul Skenes. I don't think Paul Skenes will be available this season. Probably 2028. He's under control for the next 4 years. If you're the Pirates, you're gonna try to milk him for as much as you can before you have to try to trade him away. You're going to milk season ticket sales. You're going to milk jersey sales. And after 2027, when they come back for the lockout, the 2028 trade deadline after the All-Star break is when I think Paul Skenes will get traded.
I don't think Olivia Dunn's going to live in Pittsburgh forever either. So
facts.
I think she puts the pressure on Paul Skenes. Be like, Paul, we got to get the fuck out of Pittsburgh. No disrespect. Pittsburgh's a fine city. I've been there a bunch of times, but New York's different, bro. Gallo, what do you think about this?
I mean, I think Met fans were so Paul Skenes and Tariq Skubal were all they talked about this offseason. And I always thought Skubal maybe for the Mets, but Skenes, it feels like, is one of these guys who probably understands where, if he's choosing where he wants to be, he probably wants to be with the marquee brand. And the Yankees are in a position to be more desperate than the Mets. Like, the Mets are desperate to win. The Yankees are desperate to win with Judge and Garrett Cole to a lesser extent. And they don't have that window sort of hang on to certain guys. Like, if it meant getting rid of like a Lombard, I don't know who exactly they have to get rid of. I think they're going to be more willing to give up those pieces because they have a shorter window. For the Mets, like, I never thought it was a realistic. They don't have the pieces that a team like Pittsburgh would probably want. And I also don't think Stearns is ever going to make that trade. I just don't think he's ever going to blow up the farm specifically for a pitcher.
I don't mean this as shade. He does kind of look and feel like a Yankee, though.
Yeah, that's kind of my the vibes on him screams.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
I'm never growing a beard out. Like,
yeah.
I
Bro, on the last day of the WBC when I was down there for the final when they lost, bro, he was leaving the locker room and he had like his suit was literally a blue tuxedo that had like the Navy insignia in the background and like some cowboy boots. Like, so like he's like in lockstep with like Garrett Cole. Like him and Garrett Cole are going to be besties and shit. And I say 2028 as the timeline because he's 2029, 2030 is when he'll be a free agent. After 2028, the Yankees have Garrett Cole's money coming off of the books and Carlos Rodon money coming off of the books. That's $60 million of AAV that you could take 50 of that and you could just toss that towards Paul Skenes if you trade and sign him or if it goes to free agency.
So he's going to be 24, in 2 months. And he's going to start the 3-year arbitration period in a year. He's not even at arbitration yet. So
he's gonna have a record arbitration.
Yeah, free agency eligibility begins after the 2029 season. Although, if Pittsburgh wants, you could sign him to a long-term deal and then flip him, kind of like what Miami did with Stanton. And I feel like they did this with somebody else whose name is escaping me right now. But they did this when they traded Stanton to the Yankees. So I wonder if Pittsburgh will take that route, just kind of like handle the contract themselves and then be like, oh, look, we can flip it this way. Or you could just leave it up to the other team to do it, which is probably how I would handle it. I do think, Gallo, that the Mets have they have the farm system to pull it off. I don't think you need to at this point, just because you have enough young arms and you just traded for Freddie Peralta also. So see that through and also extend him. I know his first start wasn't great, but he's going to have, presumably, knock on wood, at least 31 more this season. So we'll see. Health permitting. But yeah, I think Skenes very much feels like a Yankee. I'd be surprised if he's not with them, he'll probably be a Dodger. But it feels like he's destined for a big market, which sucks if you're like a diehard Pittsburgh Pirates fan who's not trying to hear this shit right now.
And that's how I feel. Like the way you said Paul Skenes feels like a Yankee to you. Tariq Skubal, to me, he's a Met. That's who the Mets are going to target in free agency. David Stearns used his trade assets to trade for Freddie Peralta. He's not going to double up and trade for another starting pitcher. One, Tariq Skubal may cost you a little bit more than Freddie Peralta. I'm not sure when it comes to like a trade package what the trade will want back in return. So they're going to use Steve Cohen's finances to sign Tariq Skubal in the offseason. Tariq Skubal, I'm putting it right now, put some money, he's going to be a Met. The Mets were trying to trade for him last year before they even engaged with the Freddie Peralta trade conversations.
Yeah. And by that point, they probably won't have Senga anymore. Whether they trade him this year or just like kind of let him walk after the season or whatever, like, or just they'll part with him in some form or fashion.
No, you keep Senga right out the season. You're not going to trade Senga because a team would take him, but he still has the risk when it comes to his injuries or whatever. If you're the Mets, you want a healthy season from Senga, so when he's a free agent, you can attach the qualifying offer to him.
Yeah, I agree. I'm just saying in the event that they dump him for whatever reason, like if he's injured to the point where it's like, yo, like again, you can't do this, and then Manaya has to pitch more, and then whatever happens there. But I think, that Skubal would be obviously really, really good. Okay, let's do Gallo's fourth.
Okay, I'm gonna lighten the mood up here.
Yeah,
but, I mentioned
that was serious baseball talk. That was nice.
I mentioned a player who is more deserving than I almost scrubbed the bit there. Brandon Nimmo in retiring a jersey. This is the Mets are going to realize that Polanco probably is never going to get adapted to first base, and Beatty and Vientos aren't it. So towards the end of the season, a certain guy that's in Mexico right now, Wilmer Flores, is going to come back.
Holy shit!
And walk off in major fashion to help the Mets get to the playoffs. And my guy, the clutch god, is going to come back, and Hector and me will finally find me a jersey where I can get my Wilmer Flores jersey that I've been searching for 10 years.
I was looking on Etsy. I swear to God, I was looking on Etsy for the past like couple of weeks or whatever, and I still couldn't find anything. I'm looking. I'm hunting it down.
I am, Brian, if you don't know this, I am a Wilmer Flores fanboy. And Stan is the perfect way to put it. And I think the Mets have been cursed ever since Brody Van Wagenen jettisoned him off the team to side Jed Larry. And also, I think he's like the prototypical role player. And
yes.
It was a guy I thought the Mets should have taken a swing at this year because, you're going to throw out three guys who can't play the position. And hopefully Polanco hits because I'm not very confident at first base right now, fielding-wise. Also because it's not that he just looks, bad early. He covers the base like he's playing second base. And I like Polanco. I want Polanco to be in the lineup. I just think him playing first base and then trusting Vientos or Beatty to hit consistently, if they're going to play first base, is a mistake. And it's an excuse for me to fit Wilmer Flores into a baseball conversation.
Talking about first base, you saw that walk-off from Dom Smith with the Braves.
Awesome. Yeah. I mean, sad story, but
shout
awesome.
out to Dom Smith.
Yeah, I love Dom.
Of course, yeah.
I thought he was going to be awesome.
God, I got a Barry Bonds shirt on right now. I thought he was going to be like mini Barry Bonds. Though he had the swing, and they're like, "Oh, he swings like Barry Bonds." And then he had the MVP.
He's such a fucking good swing.
Yeah. And
then you guys drafted him ahead of Aaron Judge. Just know that in the same draft.
Funny story. Awesome. I was working at MLB.
Thanks, Hector.
Yeah, I know. They just drafted him. They drafted him the fanfare where it was like they got the best hitter in the draft.
Yeah.
I was working for MLB used to have this show called Twitter Dugout, which was like a wraparound show they did on Twitter. It was only one season and they canceled it. But they did a draft special and we had like Dom Smith's hitting coach on, his like high school coach. And I was like, this guy is going to change the franchise.
I thought he was going to be awesome, bro.
Yeah.
There was a Dom Smith or Pete Alonso conversation that Mets fans were having for a couple of years also.
And I sided on the wrong side.
Yeah. Him and Ahmed Rosario didn't quite turn out to be what I thought. Although they're both still getting checks.
Yeah.
Which
Rosario's a good baseball player. He's just not a star.
I think Dom is too. I think he's fine. Like he can be on a roster, evidently.
He's also, and it's weird to say it because I'm gonna feel old. he's a very good veteran presence in the dugout, especially for the young guys. The way that when he came over to the Yankees, and bro, it makes me feel old as fuck to say that. That he's a veteran, a solid veteran. But the way when he came over to the Yankees, he took Jason Dominguez like under his wing, and he brought a new version of Jason Dominguez to life. Jason Dominguez before was in his shell to himself. He got with Ahmed Rosario, Jose Caballero, and the personality just came out more. And shout out to Ahmed. He's a real good clubhouse guy.
He also he had the same role on the Dominican national team, which is hilarious. We have Wilmer Flores' stats here, just so people can see that he was, in fact, in the majors last year. By the way, OPS of 686, which I mean is better than some Mets from last season.
Better than Anthony Volpe.
We're not talking about the numbers here, okay? We're talking about vibes, his clutch numbers.
I mean, look, 16 homers, 71 RBI. Like that, I think I'm kind of surprised he's not on the roster right now.
Well, it's just, I mean, this is the way baseball is. Teams don't try to win. You're telling me he's not better than the 4A players the Rockies are trotting out there? He also, to be fair, he hit like 14 of those home runs in the first half of the season, so he was pretty bad in the second half. So maybe that's also.
What was his OPS last year?
686.
686. Yeah, he had a higher OPS than Anthony Volpe. Anthony Volpe had a 663 OPS.
Yeah. Well, and to the Ahmed Rosario thing too, because I know we don't value average. He's a career 270 hitter. Like,
I still value average. I don't care.
I do too. I think that's why I think Luis Ariz is like is a very underappreciated player. Like hitting
Ketel Marte also, who by the way might be in trade rumors this year.
Guy, MLB The Show, I've traded for many times and put at second base for the Mets. I have him on every one of my fantasy teams. I think he's awesome. But yeah, I think the average thing. That's why when the Yankees got Rosario, I'm like, oh, Yankee fans are not going to be happy with this. But I was like, if he's playing, you're getting good at bats from him. He's not going to be a star. He's not going to, go on a hot streak where he's carrying the offense. It's the kind of guy you need to fill out your lineup. To a better extent, it's how I feel about Polanco with the Mets. Like he's, guaranteed going to hit you 18 to like 25 homers, and be a guy who's productive. And I don't think people value that as much anymore.
My number 4 will be quick, so we can get to our last 3. A new CBA, because I don't want to lock down. I had to put that.
That was my last one.
I had to put that on the list. A CBA,
that was my honorary mention.
A CBA, to be fair, one of us had to say it. A CBA, to be fair, that is fair to the players. This is more of an issue with like NBA, WNBA negotiations. We saw the WNBA players actually got pretty good deal of what they wanted. Not everything, obviously, because you're never going to get everything in a negotiation. Sure. Otherwise you're negotiating with a fucking idiot. But they did well in their negotiations, and I think long term we'll sort of see that impact too. The MLB Players Association, will see. There was a Tony Clark ordeal not too long ago that kind of just came and went, and we need to see what transpires from the aftermath of that, and him no longer being part of this. So there's just that too. I think this current CBA expires right after the World Series on November 1st, and then I do think there will be some sort of lockout, but there could be a world where we don't actually miss time, kind of like the WNBA. Like there was no deal for months, and they kept pushing back deadlines. But now everything's going to start like as intended. The free agency is in a week. The draft is after that. The season's going to start in May like it's supposed to. It's going to end when it's supposed to, and all these different things. And baseball just actually went through this before the last CBA, where we missed, I think, 2 weeks, and then they ended up coming to a deal. So a new MLB CBA, I feel like if you're a baseball fan, you want this on a list. And I want players to be paid, and I feel like I don't know what's going to be on the CBA. We'll see as far as like what they're fighting for. I also hope that I don't know if this is going to be part of it, but like I'm kind of over like the rookie contracts leading into arbitration, leading into certain players not hitting free agency until they're 30. Like that annoys the shit out of me. And I feel like players should get to free agency sooner, especially given that the average major league player doesn't even get to free agency a lot of times unless they suck. Like, unless they're bad and teams just DFA them. And then it's like, well, no one picked you up off of waivers. So guess what? You're in the minors and now you're just signing minor league contracts. And then you'll eventually go to like the KBO or Mexico or Venezuela or something. So that's my rant.
I also don't know what I'm not pro cap. I also am not going to lose my mind if there's a cap. As long as there's a floor, and in my brain, I can't envision a place where the Pirates, all the teams we named before, agree to a floor, and then with a cap, end up losing that whatever it is, $75 million they get from the luxury tax. And I can't envision it in my head. So I actually don't think we're going to lose baseball. Maybe I'm being glass half full. We may lose a month or two, but I think we're going to get at least some sort of a season next year because I can't envision that these teams are going to stomach having to pay $100 million when they don't pay $30 million to their team. And if they're going to get rid of the luxury tax money, what does that mean for these teams that they live off that? I mean, the Marlins and the A's, they get more luxury tax than they spend on their roster. So
and the Pirates and the White Sox,
and the Pirates and the White Sox. The Reds should be a World Series contender right now, and they've done nothing to make that team better. And Ellie De La Cruz will lose, will leave, and they're gonna be like, I don't understand what happened. And it's like, well, you didn't try to win, and you didn't want to pay the guy. So
they'll probably trade Suarez also after just signing him.
Right. And then also to your point, Brian, I can't envision teams being okay with because if you have a cap, how do you justify team control of a guy when because then you're going to be forced to pay someone, which means you have forced cap space on you. Like if you're going to keep a guy, you have to pay him. Like you know how it is. They get the 3 years where it's prorated, and then they have arbitration. If you're locked into a guy at arbitration and you think you're going to pay him 12 and he gets 16 million, like what does that do to your cap situation? So I was gonna put it down, and that was my next one. So they gotta have a bunch of them because I want a CBA before the season ends, and I think for all three of us, we kind of need it for work too.
Yeah, it'd be nice.
Yeah.
You know, like I do kind of, and I'll add this as like a 4A, or 4B rather. If they don't, just come up with like an impromptu World Baseball Classic. I'll take it. In the meantime, it's like, well, because you know what happened in like the last serious NBA lockout, we thought there was going to be another one, but they agreed to this CBA, and this CBA is awful. But in 2011, what happened was players were signing deals to play overseas because the NBA wasn't like they didn't have contracts or whatever. So you had like LeBron playing in summer leagues, you had like high profile players playing in Greece, playing in EuroLeague, playing in
J.R. Smith played
Olympiacos.
in what, like China until
He played in
halfway through the
China.
season.
Yep. He wasn't alone either, you know. And in China, when you sign there, you can't leave until the season's over. Like they make it so that I don't even mean it in that like sort of China's force. No, it's just like the contract.
China.
It's just nature of the contract. Yeah. China. Yeah. All right, let's go to our fifth ones and we'll get out of here. Hector, your fifth. Can you reiterate the other four also? But as you do that.
I just wanted to say real quick, when it comes to the national TV deal, the value from the Fox is 729 for the year for MLB. TBS is 470 million. ESPN is 550. NBC Universal is 200, and Netflix, the new deal with Netflix, is 50 million. Right, so that's literally a little under $2 billion. And if you do the math on $2 billion for the season, hold on 1 second, divide that by the 30 teams. Each team is getting 66 million off of the top for the national TV deal. Just off rip. Off rip. That's not even including luxury tax or anything like that. So when the Pittsburgh Pirates, their payroll, it's 77 or 78 million dollars. People are losing their mind like, oh my God, they signed someone for more than $15 million a season. Ozuna. So when there's payroll, it's 78 million. Take 66 off of that, they're only paying 18 million for their payroll, and that's not even including the luxury tax. So in reality, they don't pay nothing and profit everything.
The 66 million, by the way, would be more than any player in the NBA makes right now this season. The highest paid player in the NBA this season, I believe, is still Steph Curry, who makes around 60 million. And you have several other guys who are like in that 55, 54 range, so to speak. And there will be guys making in excess of 60 million also, but that's still like, that gives you an idea of the money each team is getting and the potential of what you can do with that money from a baseball standpoint.
When you put it in the context of the national TV deal, it pays off Shohei Ohtani's AAV for the Dodgers.
Yep.
Just put it into that context.
Yeah. All right. As we look at the Mets about to lose here, it's the top of the third. It's 2 outs. It's Brett Beatty, and there's a third out, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
Yankees are up 2-0. The Knicks are down by 20 to the Rockets.
We're checking in on them right now. There's the Knicks box score. Let's highlight that a little bit. Whoop! Made Hector
get my ugly ass out of there.
All right, let's do your fifth. What's your last? Let's do our last round. Remind us of your other four.
All right, so this is my last thing, and then I'll make it fast so we can wrap up and get out of here. My other ones: Paul Skenes trade rumors to the Yankees, Juan Soto, Francisco Lindor drama, mini chicken, you know what I mean, chicken bucket, mini chicken dessert bucket, and my last one is fans knowing every umpire's name because of ABS. It's going to turn into a game of, you remember when we was younger and the Pokemon, when you're watching Pokemon and they'll have like the figure of the Pokemon and like, name that Pokemon. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So we're going to have, who's that umpire? And that's what it's going to be in Major League Baseball.
Jesus Christ. I got nothing to say.
If John Boy steals that fucking bit, I'm gonna fucking use this clip to sue him.
Gallo, what's your fifth?
Right. So before we get to the fifth one, I want to see. This really goes. It's kind of blanketed. I want to see, because Garrett, when you guys named Cole, I forgot about Cole, but I want to see Stanton and Trout play 120, 125 plus games this year.
Mm-hmm.
Any of these aging stars. To finish out the season. I want Wilmer Flores to come back and save the Mets. I want to try every one of those egg rolls at Citi Field. Randy Arozarena and Cal Raleigh walk-off kiss. And
I want to see that.
Love it. Do it in June, preferably. Do it in June.
And
like be really of the culture. Do it in June.
This is an easy one. And I'm sorry, Brian, if you put this as well. But I want the Mets to make the playoffs. As a Met fan,
I took it further.
Okay, I also think I'm a mush, so I don't want to mush anything. I want them to make the playoffs. Like, I'm not demanding them make the World Series. I just want, a playoff appearance, and let me get my hopes up and have some fun this year, and not be sitting here questioning my life that I just spent 5 months rooting for these bums again.
Okay, since I'll go right into mine since I took it slightly further. It's a little column A, column B, or really number 5 and 5B. Subway Series is mine.
That's a good one.
I've wanted one since, the last time it happened, I was 6. And legitimately, it's felt more within the last 5 years like, oh, this is possible. Both teams are competitive at the same time. Both teams don't always make the playoffs at the same time, but it's usually our fault. But it's possible, right? I also want in the Subway Series, and I think this will happen, is in Queens specifically, for obvious reasons. I want the mayor to show up to a game. I feel like that'd be really fun.
Shout out Mayor Mamdani. Shout out Mayor Mamdani. I love living in Mamdanistan. I love living here. Raise my taxes, please.
Well, it'll be very spot on too if we have a Subway Series. If baseball gets canceled next year, people can decide if they want to blame New York or just Mamdani for why baseball doesn't have a season.
They'll blame Mamdani.
Yeah. So, somebody's uncle will be like, this Mamdani, the baseball's not around.
Yeah. No, hey, Gallo, I heard Staten Island is trying to succeed from New York City.
I hear that every day. The same joke for the last
No, I'm dead ass. It was something that was like they literally dead ass was trying. They asked Mom Donnie about it during the press conference.
Well, I also saw that there was a thought that the Trump National Library could go on Staten Island. So.
As long as we keep Wu-Tang.
That was a legitimate thing too. That wasn't even a joke. I just
no, I know.
So
My God.
Subway Series and for Zora to pop out. I want to see the reactions. I want to see if MLB, and they probably would, like tweet out from the account like, "Oh, the mayor's here," whatever. Because that's the thing, you know what I mean? Like Eric Adams, he would get some measure of attention despite the fact that all these nefarious things were going on underneath the hood. Yo, when Dex and I did a pod, I could say this is because at the end, and not that many people are watching this. When Dex and I had a pod, we had Eric Adams on. This is during COVID, when COVID started. So this is before when he was Brooklyn Borough president, when he wasn't even announced as a mayoral candidate. Now, I did talk to one of my more progressive friends who actually did run for a congressional seat in New York and lost and is now a journalist. Did ask him, like, so what do you think about him? He's like, I can't stand him. He's for all these various reasons. And I was like, oh, okay. But he wasn't what he eventually became. And then, yeah. But in the interview,
that was before he was hanging out with French Montana. And
we were just talking. We mainly talked about COVID because it was literally once COVID hit and we were all locked inside. And it was like, why not talk to the Brooklyn Borough president? Because Dexter's interviewed him a bunch of times because he was a reporter at News 12. And that went well, surprisingly.
Well, my
favorite,
Eric Adams sports related story was he came on the Fan and totally unrelated to the question he was asked, just looks at Tiki Barber, no context, and goes, I was a better running back than Tiki Barber. And I was like, what is he like? I get he's like the AI glitched in him. And he was trying to be like a bro and have fun, and then he, couldn't get the joke out.
Oh, God. Okay, to recap our lists. Hector, what was your 5?
My 5, to recap as we get out of here. Paul Skenes trade rumors to the Yankees heating up. Juan Soto and Francisco Lindor drama exaggerated by Yankee fans mostly who miss Soto. ABS highlighted in every game and every inning. Fans knowing every umpire's name like it's named that Pokemon. And mini chicken dessert buckaronis.
Gallo?
I had, Mike Trout staying and other legends, we'll just say playing the majority of the season, staying healthy. I want to try every egg roll outside of Pittsburgh because we're not going to be able to do that now. But every egg roll at Citi Field for them. Wilmer Flores to save the Mets. The Mets to go to the playoffs. And the Randy Arozarena, Cal Raleigh walk-off kiss.
I want to see Randy and Kyle kiss, walk
or
off
fist
kiss.
fight, one or the other.
Yeah, I want to see that. Yeah, I want to see
extreme or both.
Yeah, or
Kyle Raleigh is the baseball player that didn't want to hug his teammate at the World Baseball Classic. So Gallo said he wants to see them kiss during the season.
I was like, who is he talking to right now?
What did she say?
She said Jesus. That's what she said.
This could be, honestly, right now, and if MLB steals this, we have evidence. This could be heated rivalries, too.
My 5 were any manager or player to crash out over ABS in a press conference and get fined and potentially suspended. The Dodgers lose before the World Series, a new MLB CBA, Lindor and Soto to just have bits, just lean into not liking each other publicly, flipping each other off like Max Strus and Jimmy Butler, not shaking hands ever, but like undercover, just sort of being cool and being in on it. And number 5, Subway Series this year, ideally with the Mets winning, and for the mayor to pop out to a game just to see the reaction, especially from some Yankee fans. Hector,
this is when
he did well in the Bronx. Though he did well in the Bronx. I'll say that much. He did well in the Bronx. So yeah, there's that. You can follow these gentlemen here in the description. You have Anthony Gallo, WFAN, on Twitter, on Instagram, doing a whole bunch of things at the station. So follow him for very good work. Also did some shows covering St. John's with my guy Dex on the Post. St. John's got back to the Sweet 16 for the first time in forever. And I legitimately think Rick Pitino can lead them to more than just that.
Yeah,
I'm
I
damn near
agree.
expecting a Final
The
Four
money's
next year.
rolling in. I'll tell you that much.
That's
Yeah.
another discussion to be had. And then Hector, you already know, Uptown Sports, Latino Sports. He will be at a stadium at some point very, very soon. I'm sure.
I'll be at Yankee Stadium opening day this Friday as well. Latino Sports will be hosting every Knicks watch party at American Whiskey, the bar in the city. So, of course, Gallo, Bryan, you guys obviously have an open door policy. If you guys want to pop up, I'm going to put pressure you guys to show up. You guys are my friends. And anybody in the chat, if you guys want to come through to the watch party, you're more than welcome to. Make sure you guys follow Bryan, Gallo, and everybody that we work with. Shout out to Theo Al. Shout out to Theo Al. Shout out to Pete Kennedy as well. Keith McPherson. Everybody at WFAN, Latino Sports. You know, it's a real good community. And also, shout out to Dexter Henry. He had surgery and he's recovering right now. So shout out to our good friend Dex.
His leg is up right now as we speak. As he's recovering.
He's still making content. It blows my mind. I know he's recovering, but I see him in his home studio still recording and making content.
That's where he's parked. He can't leave. You know what I mean? You might as well work while you're there. I'm going to record him. Record with him tomorrow, actually. I have no idea what we're talking about yet. Thank you, everybody, for watching. We'll be back on the channel with more very soon. And hopefully with more fun stuff than the Ali Act, which was covered in the video you can watch right now on this channel. Peace.